Hi everyone, my name is Jill Shiefelbein and I'm on the board of directors for NSA NYC, and I am here right now interviewing our speaker from today from our October meeting, the lovely Neen James. Neen, thank you for being here.
Thanks, what a blast. I had so much fun with this chapter.
And let me tell you, our chapter had so much fun with her. And if you've never gotten to see Neen do a chapter presentation before, it's not her normal, oh, I'm getting on stage and doing a keynote type thing. It's, here's what I know, here's how I know it, and here's how it can actually add value to people in your speaking business, and not just, oh, here's me talking about what I do. Like a lot of people do. Well, it's not. And you know, you come in and you go listen to speakers, and a lot of speakers don't cater what they're saying to your audience, and you did that in spades.
Thanks. Here's the deal. When people give up their time and their attention, and they spend time with us, we have a responsibility to give them some value in return. So when people give up their days and their weekends and they attend a National Speakers Association chapter meeting, that speaker better deliver value. Yeah. And by the way, I get offended if you deliver your commercial keynote. I don't want to see that. I want to know, as a participant, how do you do what you do, not what you do.
Right.
So the people in the room today, what we did was we unpacked their intellectual property so they could make more money, because I am obsessed with speakers making more money, right? And so I think what happens is that no disrespect to any speaker who has ever been at any chapter, because you know who you are. And what I think is really important is that we have a responsibility to stand in service of each other. And so today, my job was to stand in service of the people in that room. And then through that service, you help give them these little gifts of bits of information about themselves. And in my case, I help people understand their contextual view of the world, which is their thought leadership. And what's amazing is watching people's reactions to that.
It's really fun. I mean, you get up there and, you know, I love the way your mind works. We've had conversations about that. It's pretty fantastic.
It's kind of scary, our minds, because it's like crazy town up there. She thinks in flowcharts, I think in models. It's kind of crazy.
I know, you know. You could put us in a room together and all these engineers would just freak out because they're thinking, how are you two talking about this stuff?
I know.
Right? It's kind of fun. But with that being said, what's really interesting, and you were just evidence of this today, a lot of times as speakers, we have such a hard time figuring our own conceptual models out, but yet you put the stuff out there and someone like Neen comes in and it goes right out, you know? Why do you think that is, that we have a hard time really doing this for ourselves?
Because we're too close to it. You know, we're too close to it. And here's the deal. There's things that you've been doing in your life that are intuitively you. And you have this uniqueness that is yours, and it is something, maybe it's something that you've just, a lesson you've learned over and over and over and over again in life. And so it's so part of your being, you don't even think that there's anything special about it. And so the reason that people struggle with their contextual view of the world is it's so close to them, it's like right there and they can't see it. And sometimes it takes someone else to ask you the right questions and targeted, laser focused, so that they help you get through the process. So look, I've got to be honest with you. It took me ages to find my contextual view. I thought it was this, and then I thought it was that. And then it was actually some time with Sanborn. And Mark Sanborn, who I think is a rock star, and if you don't know who he is, he kind of is a big deal. And but I said to him, I just want the world to pay attention. I said, it's about attention. He's like, yeah, it's about attention. I was like, oh, man. Like, I'm so good at doing this for everyone else, but I suck at doing it for myself. So sometimes bouncing off other people, right? Or sometimes other people in your life see what you're really about, and they're like, you know what, and you're like, oh my God. So Steve Spangler, who we all know is a rock star speaker, and the guy is a brilliant, brilliant mind. He's one of the most generous men on the planet. But he does amazing, amazing things in the whole area of really engagement. And someone said, you know, you're America's science teacher. And I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But it was a gift for someone to categorize him so beautifully. And sometimes no matter what we try and do with our marketing, and we try and make it sound sexy and smart, and sometimes someone else gives us the gift of what we're really about in the world. Steve already knew who he was in the world. He already was living in his intellectual property. But sometimes those extra tweaks, those extra pieces people give you are so powerful.
Just the language to explain it. And, you know, to tie back to what you're all about, in order to find that language, it's really all about paying attention.
Yeah. Yes! And so, obviously, I am obsessed with attention, but it's not about getting attention, it's about giving attention. Right. So my very unique spin on that is this whole necessary need for leaders to profit by paying attention, because in a world that we live in as speakers, everyone's distracted, overwhelmed, overstressed, overtired, everyone's traveling, we're always preparing for the next speech. And then we have all of these people who want our attention, right? But our role and our responsibility is to pay attention to that room in that moment for this particular point in time, at this location, in this hotel, and not be thinking about the next speech or the next flight, but it's to be so incredibly, insanely present for that room of people who have given up time to spend with you. We have that responsibility. And so today, there is no more important person I could be with, no more important place I could be than right there at the National Speakers Association of New York to be with that room of people.
It is, and I think, it's a lesson to speakers everywhere. It's not just, yes, you need to know your audience, you need to cater material, but being fully present. And in this day and age, I have not seen you check your phone one time, and you've been with us, let's see, I'm
Since
doing
7.
the math. Yeah, 8
it's a few
hours now? A few hours. And it's not even necessarily just about the phone, but it's about not spacing out, about being really, again, your word, laser focused on what the task at hand is. And a lot of times I don't think we even give ourselves the gift of that much focus and attention on ourselves.
And today, and this happened in North Texas when I was in the North Texas chapter, it also happened in New Jersey when I was with them, and that is people are like, oh, my brain hurts, like I'm so tired, I can't think, and I'm like, yes! Because I want you to be uncomfortable. I want your brain to hurt, because what we don't do is invest time in really cataloging our intellectual property. We don't invest time in ourselves, and we just go from one gig to the next, and we're not stopping to make ourselves better, stopping to make our message clearer, stopping to make our stagecraft much, much better. And so, and I'll be honest with you, one of my greatest inspirations was Mark Scharenbrock. And when I saw him stand on that stage as he closed out Influence 15 for Tammy and for Brian as their conference, and they chose him to close it out, Mark Scharenbrock, I sat there literally with my mouth open, captivated by everything he said. He is the epitome of just brilliance in our industry. And then I watched his speech again recently, and I wrote down 36 strategies that Mark used in his speech. The guy's brilliant. He's constantly brilliant, and he works hard at his craft, and he gets up early and he practices, and he crafts those stories, and he knows his audience. And I think we have a responsibility to be like Mark, to be like Mark Scharenbrock, to be like Mark Sanborn, to be like Jeannie Robertson, these people who work hard and they get good at their craft.
And one final thought to wrap this up. One of the things, Neen put people on the hot seat, right? And this is where you're up there sitting, it's you and her, and you start looking the other way. She's like, no, focus on me, as you should. And you set out the rules of the game we all agreed to play. So there's this focus. And what I loved about it is when someone started struggling, whoever's in the hot seat started struggling, you looked at the audience and said, wait, all of you out there, you're starting to judge now. Stop that. If this were you, it would be different. And just looked right into the eyes of the audience and did that. And I think, too, that's also a reflection on ourselves. I know I get caught in the judging myself trap too often, and it's not giving myself the attention I deserve and the time to do it. And I think you pointed that out so beautifully today to everyone. Yeah.
It was a privilege to serve you guys. It was an absolute privilege.
It was such a joy to have you here. So to everyone back there, this is Jill and Neen. Hello from New York City. Mwah.